Hi everyone, welcome to day one of the social week. This is of course the busiest time of the year for advertisers. And so on the outset, I want to thank everyone for taking time out of their busy schedule to attend this webinar. We are certain that you will walk away with a lot of insights and hacks for the upcoming holiday season from a paid social perspective. A special welcome to all NetElixir clients who have joined us today. We have a lot of retail e-commerce brands attending this webinar today. Some of you may be planning to test out paid social for the first time ever this holiday season, while some of you may already have an existing paid social strategy. Irrespective of which category you fall into, you will still walk away from this session with a lot of valuable insights. The agenda for the Paid Social Week, as you all know, it's a 3-day webinar series wherein we will have some of our partners join us tomorrow and day after. But before I get into the agenda, I wanted to spend a few moments as to why exactly did we even come up with this 3-day webinar series. This holiday season is quite different from the ones we have had so far, as we have 6 fewer days between Thanksgiving and Christmas. This was a key trend that was discussed in our holiday webinar last month. What this means to advertisers is that, on a conservative note, if your goal was to just stay flat versus last year, you will still have to generate a significantly higher revenue per day. Depending on how your media budget looks this year, you may actually need your advertising dollars to work harder this time. That being said, we do believe that paid social platforms will have an unprecedented impact on the holiday sales by being able to drive new customers even before the peak sets in. And that is why NetElixir is kicking off this 3-day webinar series, which will tell you exactly how this can be achieved. Today, you'll hear the NetElixir paid social team talk about creating a winning paid social strategy for the holidays. We'll go through some tested strategic frameworks and paid social hacks and best practices. Tomorrow, we will be joined by 2 of our partners, SmartFluence and Smartly. SmartFluence is a performance-driven influencer marketing platform that can elevate your brand by using artificial intelligence to create influencer strategies that match your overall digital strategy. Smartly is an automation platform that automates every step of the social advertising to unlock greater performance and creativity. On day 3, we will have our Pinterest team join us to dazzle you with the potential that this channel holds for the holidays this year. Get ready to hear about some of the latest announcements that can help your brand get started on Pinterest. And for all the attendees, NetElixir will be rolling out a special holiday package if you would like to test out Pinterest ads for the holiday season. During the course of the presentation, if you have any questions, feel free to send them through the chat window and we will take them up towards the end. Representing NetElixir today will be me and Lauren. I'm Manish and I head the paid media team out of our Princeton office. Lauren is joining us from Los Angeles and she's one of our social media experts in-house. Before we really dive into the world of paid social and holiday shopping, a quick peek into who NetElixir is. We've been around for over 15 years and have specialized in digital marketing solutions for the retail vertical. As a Facebook marketing partner and a premier partner of Google and Microsoft Ads, we've been privileged to work with some amazing brands such as Lenovo, Teleflora, Beauty Counter, and Century 21. Our sole focus over the years has been to help brands find and acquire new customers. We have done this through some industry-leading paid media solutions and have been constantly recognized as a thought leader in our space. Our focus on proprietary tools to build consumer insights has been widely appreciated. And we do all of this by helping our clients develop a holistic digital marketing strategy that is spread across various channels, such as paid search, paid social, organic search, Amazon ads, web analytics, consulting, and MarTech services. Now that you have heard enough about what NetElixir does, let's get into it. As we start thinking about a paid social holiday strategy, there are some key holiday trends that we need to focus on. Holiday inspiration starts early, and customers narrow down on their preferred brands and products well before the peak starts. The real challenge is making it into their consideration set during this time, and not so much about ensuring that they convert on the key days. The key days are all about closing the sales that were left open. With the increase in holiday shopping on social platforms, plus mobile devices, and the shift towards younger demographics, speed and frictionless experiences are no longer an option. Customers do not even consider a website or its ads unless they get a smooth, seamless experience across different channels. The instant experiences on social platforms like stories and their success further validates this. This goes into the next trend where Facebook and Instagram stories have become very effective in helping people discover new brands online. While search and other traditional platforms continue to be strong revenue drivers, social channels are unparalleled when it comes to driving inspiration and attracting new customers. We've had the opportunity to partner with an amazing brand called Century 21 Department Stores. We started working with them in the holiday season of 2017. And one of the key objectives that we had was to convert paid social into an always-on digital channel. And as you can see here, we had a phenomenal first year with this client. The revenue increased by over 400%, while we were also able to make this a sustainable channel by increasing the ROAS by upwards of 282%. We were also able to use some creative strategies that help us improve the reach and the engagement of ads by over 140%. We hope to do that for many of the brands in the room today. As we get ready for the holidays, we definitely want to look at it as a phased approach. It's a three-phase approach where phase one is preparation, where you start preparing for the holiday season, and that, quite frankly, is right now. Phase two is where you build some momentum by kicking off your branding and acquisition campaigns. And phase three is all about maximizing sales. That is where your lower funnel campaigns are activated. Now, these three phases probably remain the same every single year, and it may seem like common sense. But what makes it very important this year is the difference in the holiday season that I spoke about in the beginning with 6 fewer days. The gap between phase 2 and phase 3 is a lot less, and we need to have a very strong plan across each of these phases. What you see on the slide right now is a tested framework that we've used with all our paid social clients as well as our paid search clients, which essentially makes this an effective omni-channel framework as well. Our first recommendation for coming up with a social strategy is not to think about the channels you want to be on. Do not think about how many campaigns you will run or what ad formats you will leverage. Instead, start by narrowing down on your top customer segments. One way to do this is to start broad and understand if the bigger business goal is to drive new customers or increase revenue from existing customers. Based on this, identify some key audience segments that you want to pursue. Personalization in digital is something that customers expect as a norm today. Personalized ads drive a much higher engagement due to obvious reasons. For these audience segments that you identified in step 1, develop tailored content and creatives. It may have to be customized for various channels and devices as well. Once you have both the audience and the custom content developed, we will then move into the core segment, that is targeting and optimization. Platforms such as Facebook ads and Pinterest offer a wide range of optimization options, along with the ability to control the attribution window. While there is no one solution that fits everyone, we do recommend a rapid testing model to understand what works for your business objectives. Features such as campaign budget optimization are highly effective in efficient budget allocation across ad sets, while some other hacks such as platform and device-specific campaigns are also interesting experiments. Now, none of this makes sense unless you have a solid measurement model. We use a combination of analytics from Facebook and Pinterest and other analytics tools to understand the actual contribution of paid social ads. While ROAS continues to be an important factor, we highly recommend looking at new to file customers that are acquired through these channels and the reach attained by social ads in any given period of time. Now, while this framework looks pretty straightforward conceptually, it can actually lead to multiple layers as you start working on it. And that is exactly where NetElixir's paid social teams can partner with you to make that process a lot easier. With a framework like this, the next step is to actually dive into some more specifics as to how your social campaigns will be structured. I will now invite Lauren to discuss this. Lauren, all yours.
Thanks, Manish. So once you have an overall strategy ready, as per the previous slide, one of the frequently asked questions is, how do we go about setting up all of the paid social campaigns? There are so many campaign types and ad formats that it may get confusing. We recommend following the customer buying stage or familiarity with your brand. We get started first at the C level, where a new customer is just seeing or discovering your brand for the very first time. This is pure prospecting. This stage uses video ads to build brand awareness. You may also use single image ads that build on the key brand attributes. This stage lives between prospecting and retargeting, as we don't have a customer yet. However, the person has had some engagement with the website and maybe even your Facebook and Instagram page. The next part of the funnel is think. Once a customer engages at the C stage, we gradually move them to the think stage, where we re-emphasize the brand and its relevance for this customer. This stage uses a mix of single image ads, collection ads, and other formats. The goal of this stage is to get them thinking more about your brand. They've heard about your brand, but they still may need to learn more. The next stage, called the do, is a lower funnel stage where we expect the customer to take action, whether it's a purchase, a sign up, or a store visit. This stage focuses on ad content that is heavy on products. DPAs are highly effective at this stage, and even a simple static product shop would work well. The last stage in this sequence is the care stage, where you focus on retaining your acquired customers through timely brand reminders. This may include retargeting a specific product or brand if they have shown the tendency to stick to the same choice over a period of time. In certain cases where you plan on upselling or cross-selling to a customer, they may move through all the stages again. This is where it's important to have tailored ad copy that makes the user feel relevant and like it's clear that you know they've purchased before and you want them to purchase again. An important thing to note is that once a customer is converted, establish a cool-off period where you will not hit them up with an ad. This is critical to ensure that ads don't seem irrelevant and intrusive, and customers get the space to try the product before you chase them for a repeat purchase. Now let's dive deeper into a sample strategy. Here's a sample blueprint that can be used for Facebook and Instagram campaigns. It addresses every aspect of the paid social advertising framework by starting with the broad objective of prospecting, first retention, and then drills down into campaign objective, ad set targeting, audience exclusions, optimization and bid strategy, placements, and ad formats. This is a sample that should fit every business with some minor changes based on specific goals. For example, we typically start with the add to cart segmented out by 7 days, 30 days, and 90 days. But over time, as we gather some data, sometimes we see combining them is more efficient. This, of course, always depends on the specific client. The budget split between prospecting and retargeting varies from one client to another. However, the various campaigns and ad formats in each should remain the same. As a general rule of thumb, you always want a few different ad formats per ad set. It's always best to show users a variety of different ads so that they don't get bored of seeing the same thing over and over. Audience exclusions is the most important factor to consider to ensure that there is minimal overlap between your campaigns and ad sets, and more importantly, to ensure that you don't inflate your bids. For optimization, we recommend using a 7-day click or 1-day view as the default setting. Unless your business has a different conversion window that needs to be factored in, then you can play around with some of the other conversion windows available in Facebook. Now that we have looked at what a strong paid social framework looks like, let's dive into a quick pre-holiday checklist. This is specific to Facebook and Instagram and will help you ascertain if the account is covered for some key features. As part of this Social Week drive, NetElixir is offering a complimentary paid social audit for all of our attendees, where our team will analyze your paid social account and grade it for every item in this checklist. Apart from this, we'll also look at some missed growth opportunities, which we will address towards the end of today's webinar. For a quick overview of the paid social efforts, this audit checklist is segmented into technical integrations, efficiency, and execution. On the integration side, it's extremely important that all your website events are set up on Facebook so that we can run all supported campaign types. The match rate for product catalog will determine the impact of your DPA ads or feed-based campaigns, which is a high priority item for the holidays. For those of you who have stores, offline events has to be set up to enable store visits tracking. To drive better efficiency on the paid social platform, we recommend looking at setting up campaigns across multiple placements, leveraging campaign budget optimization, also known as CBO, for automated budget allocation across ad sets, and split testing. With the holidays coming up, we recommend setting up your split tests to have them end before the peak days begin. The last segment focuses on key aspects of execution, such as audience expansion and coverage, DPAs and broad audiences, and ensuring that you have creatives to support multiple ad placements. As far as the colors, green means you're doing it well, yellow means you're working on it, and blue are areas of opportunity. Moving on to our top holiday tips. These are our 5 top recommendations for the holiday season. We shortlisted this based on our years of working with various brands across paid social and other channels. Considering the short holiday season, it's crucial that we build a strong new customer pipeline going into the holidays. And the best time to do that is now. That being said, our first recommendation is to ramp up your prospecting spend as soon as possible and drive brand awareness from now until mid-November. Once these potential customers are in your funnel, you can switch to retargeting campaigns. In those peak weeks, as a result of this switch, your prospecting spend will go down post-November. Catalog ads have been a huge hit on Facebook and Pinterest. We've seen a lot of success with retailers who try this option out. If you haven't launched this already, we highly recommend this for the holidays. A common route that most advertisers take is to use the same feed that they use on Google Shopping for Facebook and Pinterest catalog ads. While this does get the work done, we recommend customizing the feed for your paid social audience. This includes creating tailored product titles that can engage users in carousel ads. To get better performance from your dynamic ads, we suggest personalizing it with overlays such as borders, logos, prices, and free shipping. We recently tested this for one of our apparel clients, and the ads with borders outperformed the regular dynamic ads with a better click-through rate. You should also experiment with various intro cards with video or static to drive brand awareness. One of the strategies that has worked well for our clients is setting up hyper-segmented campaigns specific to a platform. Instagram-only campaigns have been a huge hit as they delivered better reach and engagement. We do not recommend doing this across the board, but it's definitely worth testing for a subset of your campaigns. Social commerce has picked up at a rapid pace, and that's precisely the reason we are all discussing these paid social hacks today. One of the big wins on paid social ads has been the instant experience that lets shoppers experience brands with minimal friction. Stories and collection ads have been instrumental in driving this experience. One of the latest products in this regard has been the gift guide, which is expected to be launched mid-October. This will let you highlight that you have gifts for everyone on someone's list. Now it's time to talk creative. Creative is a huge lever on paid social and should be top quality, especially for the holiday season. If you aren't already utilizing video, you'll want to make sure that this is part of your holiday plan. Not only will 78% of mobile data be video by 2021, but during the 2018 holiday season, 63% of shoppers watched stories on Facebook and Instagram and were influenced by videos they saw online. Here are some of our top video tips to keep in mind, not only during this holiday season, but in general. Most important, be sure that your brand name and logo are right at the start of the video. With so many brands out there, it's easy for your brand to get lost in the shuffle of the dozens of other retailers, and it's important to stand out from your competitors. We can't emphasize enough the importance of creating a short form video. Think of how fast people are scrolling on their phones, breezing through hundreds of content, not to mention all of your friends and family's baby and dog pictures. You have to make sure that the length of the video is short and sweet and tells a visual story. If you don't have the resources to create video, we recommend using the Facebook Video Creation Toolkit, which you can find in Ads Manager. You can take a bunch of photos and turn them into a video and even add text overlays. Now that we've walked through the video best practices, we'll move on to image ad best practices. While video ads are important, it's not to say static ads aren't powerful as well. We've seen success with pairing static images and video in the same campaign in order to drive better performance. The video will work as brand awareness, while the static image can be more product focused and drive people to make a purchase. Some basic things to keep in mind are keep it simple and produce various different versions to find what works best for your audience. You'd be surprised at how a different angle or perspective can make all the difference in a static ad. Use the rest of this month to do some A/B testing and find exactly what works for your brand. Once you have these learnings, you'll know exactly what to show during the peak holiday weeks. One common question we get from clients is, should the creative be product or brand focused? We always say both. One of the first A/B tests we recommend running when we get started with a new client are brand versus product images. Typically, we see product shots in the form of a static ad generate more sales for lower funnel campaigns. However, branding images are perfect for top of the funnel strategy where people still need to learn about your brand and what you offer. As we started today's webinar, Manish discussed how this holiday season is different from the ones we had so far, with 6 fewer days between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Here's a snapshot of some of the key days that are expected to be big on social media. Starting on the 11th of November, that's Singles Day. Based on the past few years, we have seen social platforms drive a lot of sales post-Christmas, where me buys pick up as people start using gift cards. Paid social is also an effective channel to drive clearance sales in the month of January compared to some other more expensive channels out there. With that, I will invite Manish again to wrap this up and talk about the holiday audit we are offering to all attendees.
Thanks, Lauren, for the wonderful insights and hacks. I hope everyone had made notes. Well, if you didn't, don't worry, we'll send you a recording later. We would, of course, love to help you out with your holiday paid social plans. If you would like our team to take a look and suggest some growth opportunities and some low-hanging fruits to have a successful holiday season, we can absolutely do that. All attendees will get a complimentary audit on their paid social accounts. The way this has been structured is that it will have two parts. The first part is a 5-point technical audit, which will have a QA on your Facebook pixels and setup. We'll also do a quick QA on your standard events and custom events. We'll also look at some advanced pixel settings that will help you have improved targeting capabilities. And finally, since DPAs or catalog-based ads have become so important, we will also do a quick audit of your product feed and match rates and suggest some improvements there. Once the technical audit is done, we will go ahead and do a comprehensive evaluation of your current campaign setup. This includes looking at various campaign goals that you have and the objectives that have been set up. Most importantly, we will look at any form of audience overlap, which could have detrimental impacts due to the inflation of bids. Once this is done, we will also help you identify certain growth opportunities. As we mentioned in the beginning, we do expect paid social to be a key driver of new customers in this holiday season. And there are a lot of audience targeting opportunities on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest that can essentially help you do that. If you haven't started on paid social yet, you can still reach out to us and we can help you get started. All you need to do is reach out to us at social@netelixir.com and we can take it from there. We will now answer some of the questions that you sent us over the chat. The first one is from Michelle. She wants to know how exactly can we improve the ROAS on prospecting campaigns on Facebook as they generally remain pretty low. I can probably take that one. So Michelle, you are absolutely right. And this is one of the top concerns that we hear from every single retailer. While the ROAS on prospecting campaigns will never be as high as the retention campaigns, there are a few ways to improve it. The most effective method is to create custom audience combinations. And what you're doing here is essentially narrowing down your targeting. Let's say you are an apparel brand and you're going after people who like online shopping and are interested in fashion. That itself could be a user segment with millions of users on it. Now, what we recommend is that you narrow this down by adding another layer of lookalikes of your top customers. What this will do is that it will allow Facebook to give you a much smaller list of more relevant users. The immediate impact here will be that the anticipated reach of this audience segment will go down. You may have far fewer impressions on this, but the relevance goes up. And as a result of this, the expected ROAS when you activate a campaign using this audience segment will most likely also be on the higher end. Next question is from Dan. And this is probably for you, Lauren. During the holiday season, with frequent offer changes, how exactly do you manage various campaigns and ad sets without pushing the assets into the learning phase?
Sure, this is a great question, Dan. We're definitely all about being as efficient as possible while maximizing results. So we would recommend using your existing campaigns and ad sets and just creating new ads for each offer. What this does is it prevents the campaigns from going through the learning phase again. Some retailers prefer to create a brand new campaign, but the downside is that the campaign will go through the learning phase again, and the delivery of the ads will be slower. One other tip we have is to create everything a week in advance so that Facebook has time to review the ads.
Awesome. And since we are doing great on time, we probably can take a couple more questions here. The next question is about budget allocation and the settings around it. How exactly do you choose between a lifetime budget versus a daily budget? Lauren, do you want to take that?
Yeah, definitely. I'll take this question, Manish. Thanks. So based on working with a lot of different holiday-based clients, we recommend a lifetime budget before the holiday season kicks in. But during peak weeks like Thanksgiving and even Black Friday, we would recommend a daily budget in order to maximize sales. Basically, the biggest difference between the two is that with lifetime, you basically set it and forget it. And Facebook will spend the budget based on when it's most relevant. So for example, it may spend $20 on Monday and $100 on Tuesday based on the opportunity on the platform. So with daily budget, you're telling Facebook what to spend every day. So if you set it to $50, Facebook's going to spend that $50 every day. Give or take some scenarios, like we've seen where Facebook just can't spend the full budget. Like maybe they'll spend just $40 out of the 50, but oftentimes it will spend that full budget. So the benefit is that you will have full control over a daily budget and you can change it daily based on performance. So for example, if you set it to $50 one day and you see that you got a really high ROAS and you want to push more spend, you can easily just change that budget and make it higher. Whereas with a lifetime, it's more complex and you would actually have to duplicate the campaign, make the budget change, and then save the campaign over again and relaunch it. So there's just a little bit more steps there. So overall, I would say it definitely just depends on your overall goal.
Great. The next question is, if I'm activating paid social right now, what is a recommended budget to start with? This is again a frequently asked questions, as we've had the opportunity to work with a lot of brands that started doing paid social with NetElixir. While there isn't really a budget number that works for everyone, what we have seen work for brands who are new to paid social is to start off somewhere between $5,000 to $15,000 per month on the lower end. And this should ideally be spread across Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest, because depending on your specific customer segments, you may end up realizing that one of these platforms probably outperforms others, and you may eventually move your dollars into a specific channel. In most cases, though, what we see is that performance is typically equal across different platforms with minor tweaks. A budget of $5,000 to $15,000 also allows you to have a mix of prospecting and retention campaigns. And further, it also allows you to leverage multiple ad formats. Since you are planning to launch the paid social campaigns quite close to the holiday season, you can expect the CPMs and the CPCs to be higher than usual. And hence, a higher budget will ensure that your bids stay competitive in the auction. What I can definitely tell you is that any budget below $5,000 a month will most likely have minimal impact, as we had tried this out 2 years back, and we ended up recommending the client to increase the budget further, which eventually helped them trigger all their ads. We have one more question coming in, probably this could be the last one. And this is quite relevant because we spoke a lot about creatives today. And the question is, with limited production capabilities, what type of creative would you prioritize? This is extremely important because we do work with a bunch of e-commerce retailers. And a lot of these retailers have very limited production capabilities, be it static ads or video ads. So Lauren, if you want to share some of your experience working with our clients, that would be great.
Yeah, definitely. So we would recommend having a static carousel and a gift type of ad. For the carousel, what we would recommend is having it be static, so featuring top gifting ideas, or even on Black Friday, showing products or apparel one can gift for themselves. And then a gift type of ad. So the gifts are really powerful because they're pretty simple to produce, but they're really effective in grabbing people's attention because they often stand out compared to static ads. So one thing that we like about gifts also is that it can be used at the branding level, but then it can also be used for conversions as well. So it's definitely a really efficient ad format. So we would definitely prioritize these two if you're tight on production.
Great. In addition to that, we would definitely recommend having a strong product feed to support your dynamic product ads. And the reason for this is that this particular ad format has already proven to be the most effective across different social platforms. And more importantly, it adds absolutely no pressure to your production capabilities. And the best part of the feed-based campaign is that it can actually be run while targeting new and returning customers. So as Lauren mentioned, having a mix of a couple of static ads and having a strong product feed gives you the right ad formats to go into the holiday season. With that, I think we will end the Q&A session now. Thank you everyone once again for jumping onto this webinar today. We will see you again tomorrow for day 2 of the social week. And like I said in the beginning, we will be joined by 2 of our partners, SmartFluence and Smartly. SmartFluence will be talking to you about launching a micro-influencer program, irrespective of whether you are a small brand or an enterprise brand. And Smartly will talk about their platform and how their automation capabilities can ensure success going into a highly competitive holiday season. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.